Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric Pagey.
You know what I just realized as I'm watching the intro that there's like several times in there where there's a picture of you with Warstew's icon on the screen. I just thought it was hilarious. I'm like, it's like back in the old days when we were still using like OBS. Like I could see like the little icon with you as Warstew.
Oh,
It's hilarious. The other thing is, if you go through there and you pause it, you can see how often this changes behind me because I do change it every once in a while, and so there's like things get.
I think
moved around and
also
stuff, so.
if you played it in super fast motion, you'd have a seizure from all your beard color changes.
Oh
Feel
yeah,
like
probably.
like hypnotoad or something like that.
All right, so we're giving a shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the after party. We have some Team Eric members. Nathan Bell in the house. Hello. Kata's here. Eric's got Pagey at the tip of his fingers. You see, yeah, the thumbnail. Dino Dragon 55. What's up, party people? How's it going, Eric and Pagey? It's going pretty good. Hello, everyone. Thomas Scott in the house. Hello, Thomas. Thank you so much. Dino has a question for you. But before we get to that, y'all think Steven's going to be in season? There was a thing where I think where he made a quote where he would do it, or was it a quote? Something he said like
it was on his live stream. It was on his Instagram live. Sort of
yeah. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. It really just depends, I guess. What do you think? Any thoughts on that?
I'll make a video on it. Keep your eyes down.
Okay, there we go. Dino says, sorry about Australia, Pagey, but I got to go with my boy Messi. Oh, how do you feel about this, Pagey? Wait,
I watched it.
Was it Argentina?
Yeah, Argentina versus Australia. They beat Australia 2-1 this morning. I mean, they had a dig. I mean, I thought they played pretty well, Australia. Like the second goal was a goalkeeper stuff up, and the first goal was a foul they shouldn't have given away. So I'm pretty happy with it. I honestly thought they were going to be absolute arse. And to be honest, the team still isn't very good, but they represented the country well, if that, you know what I mean. Young DJ Erickson. I do have an update on the $25 Amazon gift voucher displayed by Eric's Reloaded giveaway. Oh, no, I'll give it later because I have to bring up the picture and stuff and work out who's been killed off and who's still alive.
Thomas goes, love that in the UK we haven't gotten any Stargirl season 3 yet, and it's pretty much all spoiled now. Warner Brother hate their international audience. What was the deal with that? Wasn't it supposed to be on Prime or something? Isn't that the way it was? Or
it was on Amazon Prime for season 1 and 2, or at least season 2 it aired straight after. But I know I'm assuming that the deal just ended. I don't know what the go was. I know some other place over there bought it, or what the go was.
Hey, Cal. Hey, B. Allen Hart. How are you doing? We also have a Team Eric member chat from Jordan Arnott. Says USA also lost, which sucks. Did you think USA was going to make it very far anyway, or
no? No.
I love the confidence. Love it. Anyway, so we are here today. We have a few topics. If you guys see the thumbnail, you know a couple of things we're going to talk about. We're also going to discuss Titans, the mid-season finale, which I didn't do a video on because I had videos every day this week, and that one didn't work out, but we'll talk about that here. And we're going to talk about Stargirl as we're coming up on the finale, the penultimate episode. So yeah, there we go. But first, we're going to talk about a few things that came across in the news, and we're going to go through those. So let me put up the little thingy here in the corner. Hot topics. I'm actually going to move that on the screen. I don't like where it's at, but it'll stay there for now. All right. So the first thing we want to talk about is Supergirl. There's some Supergirl news that she is going to be nerfed, underpowered in the Flash movie. I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see this. So Argentina also, I guess they got 2 W's this week, right? Argentina at a convention there had this merch for the Flash movie, and it says 2 idiot kids, which we know that's Ezra 1, Ezra 2, a retired vigilante, which is Michael Keaton, and a half-charged solar-powered alien. So a lot of people are assuming this means that Supergirl is going to be like not at full power in the movie, but also there's 2 idiot kids. So there's that.
Yeah.
Do you think this is them nerfing Supergirl on purpose, or I think this might have something to do with the story of the movie. That's what I think. I think this means that there's something in the story of the movie that requires Supergirl to either assist them on what they're doing or needing their help for something. That's what I think this means. But
well, it just sounds like it's following Flashpoint.
Yeah.
But instead of Superman, it's Supergirl.
Yeah. Which would explain
and in
the
first and in like the first teaser trailer, you see the Flash looking up at Supergirl, obviously, as she's like, I guess, imprisoned or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's in like some sort of like red sun cell or something like that. So I'm assuming that she gets out and she's very weak, but then by the end of the movie, she probably gets a power charge, which allows her to be pretty powerful.
Well, Lance, the half-charged alien is obviously Henry Cavill. Yeah. So by the way, I don't like this t-shirt. I think there's a full picture of it here, maybe. Is there? I don't like this. It's too busy for me, right? I don't like
it's a poster, isn't it?
Maybe.
Because I've seen something where it's a poster, unless it was meant to be like a picture of what the design is on the shirt, and it's just separate or something. And then there was another design of like the Flash with like Batman and Supergirl silhouettes and stuff within him.
Yeah, I just don't like that design though. I don't like the look. They posted like a new promo for the movie, I think. It's busy. It's too busy. I don't like it. Like, you know what I would have liked, honestly, is if that little box there with like the writing on it, that were the actual t-shirt. In the bottom it says saving the future and the past multiverse. I think that's what it says down at the very bottom. I don't know. It's a little bit busy for me. I'm not a big fan of it. I like either like abstract stuff or very simple designs. I like clean designs. This is a little bit messy. But I don't think this is controversial. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of channels now that are all of a sudden diehard Supergirl fans that are mad about this. I think that you have to wait and see what the story is first before you get upset.
I don't know how people are upset. It's following Flashpoint, but it's just Supergirl instead of Superman. I don't know what the anger is.
Well, you know what's funny is a lot of the people that were mad about this are the same people that were upset that Supergirl was even going to be in the movies anyway, because they were so worried about Henry Cavill coming back, right?
So pretty much it's the people that just like to complain about things.
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
okay. No, I mean that's really what it is. But it's like they kind of take over conversations because they have a million bot accounts. They're all just streaming, yelling about it. Like, I think there's a reason in the story for that. And we just have to wait because they're calling the 2 Flashes idiot kids. So we have to don't be me from like 3 years ago. Be patient. Yeah. Be patient. Me from
like my message to you from 3 years ago. Be patient, Eric. Don't jump the gun.
Don't be 2018 Eric. Be 2022 Eric. But anyway, in the chat, I'm curious to hear from you guys if you disagree with us. Are you upset that Supergirl, at least in the beginning of the movie, will be half power? Are you really mad about it? Are you? I'm very curious about your opinions on that. Yeah, defunct here, manufactured outrage. That's pretty much that's all of Twitter, typically. Anyway, Ben is triggered. I'm waiting for Ben's video. Ben normally is like with the Supergirl videos. It's like that. Yeah, here's the same people were upset that a female was taking a role away from Henry Superman. Yeah, pretty much. All right, we got some updates on a movie that I'm still worried about, but I'm happy to see that they're promoting a little bit, and that's Blue Beetle. So we got this, and I think this is the only thing that we saw. I didn't see anything else, but we got this. And it's really funny because I was like, we need some promotion for this. I just said it like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I want to see some promotion for Blue Beetle. And my wishes have been granted. I finally am seeing something that I asked for something and it happened. I can't believe it. But here it says only in theaters 2023, and this is Blue Beetle, and this is official. I love the way this looks. I really, 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 really hope this movie happens. Like, do not push it back. Do you think it'll get pushed back, or do you think they're going to follow through with this?
No, I think it'll come out. I think they wouldn't. I don't think they would have teased out. I don't think they would have put 2023 on there if they didn't think.
I think it's supposed to be August, right? Isn't it August of next year?
It's second week of August. I think it's about 6 weeks after the Flash comes out.
Yeah.
If the
I
Flash
love it. See, this is what I love. This is very simple. It's a very simple and popping design. This is what I like.
Well, the thing is that if you walk past this, if you walk past this, say you're going to watch, I don't know, Frederick Hollow or something at the movie theater, that catches your eye when you walk down. Like, what the hell's that? I wouldn't mind if it actually said Blue Beetle and down here in bigger letters so people understood what the movie was.
Well, because so it doesn't say Blue Beetle. I get it. Yes, that's kind of a thing. But I don't know. I like it. I think it looks really cool. We've seen the suit, in the behind the scene photos, and this kind of follows along that path. I want to see a trailer now. Now I'm excited for a trailer.
I think
can I complain a little bit? Maybe we'll get a trailer. Where's the trailer at?
No, I think we're going to get trailers for both Flash and this Blue Beetle with Shazam.
Okay.
And I think Blue Beetles would be more of like a teaser-ish one, while Flash probably have like a proper trailer because we technically already got like a bit of a teaser trailer.
We got a really long teaser for Flash.
And then once Flash comes out, about 6 weeks before this, you'll get like a proper trailer, and then there might be like a final one like 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the movie comes out.
Yeah. I'm excited for this. I've wanted Blue Beetle for a while. He's one of my favorite characters, particularly because of the animation side of things. So, and I like Cobra Kai. So, I'm all in on this movie. I just hope that we don't get to a point where if Shazam doesn't perform well, they start to like basically change their mind about releasing.
I thought you were keen for this movie because George Lopez was in it. Oh my God.
Are you going to see it for George Lopez?
I mean, if they're jumping on a trampoline in slow motion for like the intro, then maybe.
Okay. All right. But let me know in the chat, what do you guys think of this? Do you like this poster? You not like the poster? A few people have already said they find it very pleasing. I think it's great. Yeah, I'm happy. Thomas, don't even start this. Don't even start it. No, we're not doing that. So there we go. Blue Beetle, like it or don't like it, let us know. Now, somebody asked about Black Adam. I don't want to become like a weekly update channel for Black Adam, but this is a very significant thing. It got released in Japan.
It'd be funny if you did. Weekly
Black Adam
even a year from now.
Black Adam updates. It got released in Japan, and so we're seeing updated numbers now, and it's not moving very much. I think we both said that it would probably reach 400 million, maybe 450 million.
Oh God, why not?
But I don't think so. Looking at these numbers now. I think releasing it so late in Japan was a mistake. I don't know why they waited so long.
It doesn't help releasing it in Japan once it's out on digital and it's out on torrent.
I know.
It's been on torrent for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Not only that, they've released clips from the movie online that have pretty much spoiled everything in the film.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and Keita here is in Japan. Laugh out loud. No one I know in Japan has seen or said they will see Black Adam. Yeah. What's the point? So I think if this movie makes 400 million, that would be amazing at this point. They made mistakes with Black Adam, unfortunately. And I don't know what they could have done to fix it. But I do know that the Superman thing, as much as we love to see Henry Cavill back as Superman, I think that was a huge mistake for Black Adam. But I don't know. What do you think? What are your like final predictions? Because I don't think we'll talk about this again until it finishes its run in Japan, and then we'll look at the numbers one more time.
I mean, I know it had the lowest opening for a DCU movie in Japan ever. So out of any movie ever in the DCEU. So
Yeah.
that doesn't bode well. You can probably look at what's the next lowest in regards to total in Japan, and that'll probably give you an indicator where it might finish off, because I don't think it's going to make much more money elsewhere in the world.
Wasn't Japan the last place it was being released? I think it was.
There might have been some other random country. Did Russia get it? I don't know.
I don't know. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think the last projections were it's going to just get over 700 million worldwide, which is still a success for them financially. So they definitely didn't lose any money. Matter of fact, that's quite a bit of profit. I think there's a couple issues with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We talked about it a little bit. I think the runtime kind of pushed the money down for them, and not getting released in China was also a problem.
It did the exact same thing that like the first one did. It probably did a bigger. So it's probably the international thing that's holding off maybe Black Panther, because it's such a rare movie. Like Jenna's put in the chat. I've got to scroll up. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. 55.2% came from domestic.
Yeah.
So with the first one, I think it was maybe like just low 50s, like not even the mid. It's such a rare thing. Like the only other movie that I remember seeing that did the same thing was like Creed.
Yeah.
But that's because it was so like it's like USA, with boxing and everything like that. So
Colin says, I don't think it was a huge mistake. Just look what happened with Justice League. They didn't reveal that Superman would be in the movie, and it hurt profits. Well, they did the opposite though with Black Adam.
Oh, do you want a fun fact?
Yeah. What?
They showed Justice League on TV last night, like one of the main like free to air channels, like one of the main channels people watch, and it was the theatrical cut. And I saw people complaining on Twitter about it and tweeting at the TV station.
With Justice League, they went into that movie with a problem. The death of Superman should have never happened. That was a really dumb thing to do so early, because when Superman dies in the comics, the entire universe mourns his loss, right? When he died in the movies, he was barely a superhero at that point. I think that was a huge mistake. So that was mistake number one, was the death of Superman, and not doing a Reign of the Superman storyline, because they just didn't do it. I don't know why. It would have made more sense, but they didn't. So instead they go into Justice League with no Superman to advertise, even though everybody knew he was coming back. There's no way they were going to leave Superman dead. So they couldn't use him in advertising. That was the problem with the Justice League going into the front-loaded box office. Whereas with Black Adam, they were teasing Superman when he's literally in the movie for maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah.
In a mid-credit scene. Because everybody on the red carpet was asking when Black Adam's going to fight Superman. Nobody gave a shit about the actual movie. So that was a problem. Kana here. Will Wakanda Forever get? No, I don't think it's got a chance to make $1 billion. I honestly thought, I think I always said it had the potential to make $1 billion because of it being a Black Panther legacy film. But I always said that I saw it somewhere between 800 million, 950 million is what I thought. And it's just going to run a little bit shy of that. It could still get there, but it's got a uphill battle. It's another 100 million more. And I don't know if it's going to make that.
Well, Disney's going to be like, bye-bye, Black Panther. Avatar's coming in. We need to ease up some, let some theaters loose.
But keep in mind, the only movie that let's see, what Disney movies, MCU films 2022. Trying to see what came out this year. It was, we had Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and this one. So it was a 3, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at the numbers quickly.
Wait, Spider-Man. No, that was in the last year.
That was in December of last year, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the number. I'm trying to find a place where I can get the numbers without having to go all over the place.
Someone was detected.
Oh, somebody's at my front door. Let's see here.
That's to Eric. I've had to learn.
So it would have been Doctor Strange, Thor Love and Thunder, and Wakanda Forever. So both Doctor Strange and Thor Love and Thunder, especially Doctor Strange, overperformed a bit for them. Doctor Strange almost got to $1 billion, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever turned a profit. So it hasn't been this year wasn't a bad year for Marvel. I don't think they're going to shift anything because of this. And actually, I think they're going to be doing a Wakanda series on Disney Plus. So, because keep in mind, we won't see another Black Panther movie until like 2025 or beyond. It'll be at least 3 years before we see another Black Panther movie. And by then they'll have like shifted things a little bit. So it might not even be, it probably won't even resemble what we're at now. It'll be something very different by then, I would guess. Do you agree with that? Like, I feel like they're going to shift things around a little bit.
Yeah. It depends what like Secret Wars does and all that stuff. So
yeah. Anyway, so what do we have here in the hot topics? Are we done with hot topics? We're done with hot topics. I think we are. That's it. So if you guys have any comments or anything like that, you want to super chat, feel free to do so. We are going to move into reviews, and we're going to start out talking about should we flip a coin this week, or should I just pick something? Should I just pick something? Or should we just start with Stargirl?
Start with Titans.
Someone was detected.
Why? Who is at my front door? It's really annoying. Okay, there we go.
Do you have
That's
a camera, or can't you? Or is it just a notification?
It's a new alarm system, so
okay,
it's just popping through on my Echo. Okay, we're gonna start with Stargirl. Let's do Stargirl first. I feel like Stargirl is a better place to go. So, all right, so Stargirl, season 4, episode 12, which is the penultimate episode.
Season 3.
Season 3, yes. Season 3. Well, Titan season 4. That's where I got confused. Season 3, episode 12, penultimate episode, the last will and testament of Sylvester Pemberton. Now, before we even talk about details on this, okay, this is probably one of the best episodes of Stargirl ever, in my opinion. Definitely this season, maybe across all 3 seasons. Is that, am I overhyping it a bit? Do you feel like I'm overhyping it a bit with that, or no?
No, but I think it helps with the build up from previous episodes, but the satisfaction from the episode is like, yeah, like top tier for whether it's Stargirl or just TV and like the DC TV stuff in general.
Yeah, I was very excited about the way this episode sort of like answered questions, because we waited all season for some of these answers. And, you know, we've had problems in the past with other DC TV shows where the answers either didn't work or they came at the wrong time. I felt like everything sort of got answered at the right time, right here at the end. Whereas, like, if you look back at like Flash season 3 with the Savitar stuff, that went on for too long. And then once we got there, it felt clunky. It didn't make a lot of sense. I think the writers for Stargirl handled this mystery better than a lot of the other shows. It reminds me a lot of Superman and Lois season 1 in the way they just really, all the pacing and everything really worked out for me. So I absolutely enjoyed it. And you're right. I mean, it has a lot to do with the strength of the season, I believe. But it does set up the finale. I feel like this is a really good setup for the final episode of the season and the series. Do you think they answered enough questions for you going into the end that you don't feel like anything is left on the table? Do you think that we're pretty much ready to go and just to wrap up everything for Stargirl?
I think all the questions are pretty much answered. It's maybe just closing it off, closing the story off. I don't know if there's any that many questions left. Is there?
That's what I'm saying. I can't think of anything in my mind that's why I was asking you too, because there's nothing for me. I think everything I need to know is ready to go. Part of that has to do with Stargirl doing a really good job of keeping everything close together, because all 3 seasons have taken place in a very short amount of time. So there's not a lot of like stuff that happened in between seasons, you know? So yeah, there's just not a lot of mystery in that regard. So I guess the one thing that kind of we will probably not get an answer for is anything to do with like Mr. Bones and the Academy, that stuff. I don't think we're going to have a lot to do with that. And what's going to happen with Shade and the 2 apprentices, I don't know if we're going to get them in the finale or not. I would like to think we would, but I don't know if we will.
Yeah.
I would be a little bit disappointed if we didn't get anything, honestly. So we'll see. But the first shout out I want to give to the quality of the episode is the acting. We had some really strong moments with Joel as Starman / Ultra Humanite, because we had that reveal. We'll talk about that in a moment. He had a great couple of scenes. The one with Pat was hardcore, and the one with Courtney, and then the monologue at the end. All really good stuff. I didn't know he had it in him. Like, I know he's a good actor, but he really delivered more than just comedy, which I think was something that I was a little bit nervous about. he's really done good all season. But I think his conversation with Pat, and then his when he was with Courtney, he didn't say a lot, but you could see it in his face while she was doing her speech, which we'll talk about Breck in a second. And then the end with the Pat situation, with him burying Pat, that was also really good. I think he was a good addition this season. A lot of people complained that Starman kind of took over the season, but Joel kind of ate up every scene that he was in. And I think this week it really showed why he was a perfect casting for this character. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And I think everyone complaining has to eat their words, because if there wasn't that much time with him, that payoff doesn't work.
Right.
Like that reveal and that payoff and everything that happened in that episode specifically, and I guess maybe even the finale as well, that's for us to wait and find out. It doesn't work. At least work as well where you're satisfied. And like I agree with you. Like there were bits where I was like early in the season where he was like yelling and stuff where I didn't really feel. I'm like, like you think of John McHale, you think of like sarcastic comedy and stuff like that. But he plays that like cocky, evil character, like where they're cocky, they're not overly threatening when they're just normally speaking, but there's like a dark side there. He played it so well, especially when he's burying Pat and he's just having that conversation. Then the camera pans up and like Pat's been buried for like a couple of minutes already, and he's just been tipping off the top of the grave. Like, yeah, he was great. He was probably MVP, just ahead of Breck.
Yeah, I feel like the combination of like having him on the show as well as Luke as Pat, which also did an amazing job. Let's talk about Pat for a second. Yeah. What a fantastic performance from him this week. I mean, just again, well, Luke has always been sort of the backbone of the show in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But his moment with Starman, not Sylvester, but with Starman, Ultra Humanite, that scene together, again, very well done. Just him standing there, taking all of that was so well done. I think we're going to go back and look at the series, because I'll probably go back and watch the whole thing once we're done with this season, like just binge all of it as one straight through. I don't think this show would have worked without Luke.
No, I think you need, it's almost like how do you, I try to like look back at it like with the Flash specifically, like someone like a Joe, or even like maybe even like a Cisco before he got his powers and stuff like that. Like someone that's just sort of, so like I don't want to say like a rebound device, but someone that knows your main character or main characters and is able to tap into them, and that like they, like we get those like one-on-one chats with, if we go like to compare it to the Flash, the one-on-ones with Barry and Joe, regardless of the context of it or not, like you're going to get a good scene when it's just Barry and Joe talking, and you feel sort of the same when you get something with Luke when it or Pat, might I say, when it's in that type of scenario where it's like a one-on-one with the character, whether it is something where it's like Sylvester, or I guess Ultra Humanite Sylvester berating him with abuse, or something with him and Courtney, or even like a calm moment with him and Sylvester in like earlier into the season. So it just worked well together, and that's why it helps when you actually like almost like writing, because that's the thing with, if you listen to stuff with Jeff Johns, he said he wrote the Pat character for the show based around Luke Wilson and his acting and how he talks and stuff like that. He said that, and I don't think he's ever said it about Joel and Sylvester, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's the exact same thing as well, because both of them were already established actors before this. Not many people would have known Breck, for example, and other actors, some of the younger people, but with these more older, experienced actors, you can write that character to act or for that specific actor. And I think you're seeing the payoff with the stuff we've seen this season specifically, because they've been back and forth with one another.
Yeah. The other thing is, I want to give a shout out to Breck as Courtney, because I felt like that her conversation with Starman in that moment, obviously not necessarily knowing the story behind him and who he was, because at this time they still weren't sure what was going on with him, so she was talking from the heart to Starman. And this is kind of, in a lot of ways, I know we started the finale coming up, but that was kind of the end cap on Courtney's storyline from season 1. Like her feeling like Starman was her father, then finding out that, that he's not her father, her dealing with the fact that her dad was basically a piece of shit and taking that on, and then finally realizing now in this moment that her dad has been Pat all along, and that she didn't need her biological father. She did not need Starman to be her father. Pat was the father that she always needed. That's really what the show is about. It's about this family. And the fact that she realized that in that moment, to me, was a conclusion to the Stargirl storyline in a lot of ways. I'm still excited for the finale. We're going to get a big bombastic finale, I think. And I'm not talking about Shaggy. I mean, you know, we're going to get, I think we're going to get an amazing finale, but her actual storyline, who she is as a character, I think we got that wrap up in that moment. And that was probably because Breck has been really good in this role, but let's be honest, a lot of people complain that she's a very basic character, that Courtney is a very basic character who just does pep talks and stuff like that. And I get it. I'm not going to say that that's wrong. There's been a lot of that throughout the series, but Breck's best acting is when she's given the chance to really show some emotion. And I think that scene, when we think about the show, that's one of those scenes that you're always going to remember is her conversation with Starman. So were you happy with what she brought in this episode? Because it wasn't just that scene, but that scene was kind of the culmination of everything that she's done. So,
well, yeah, because like one of the things that she's felt really up until Sylvester showed up and even afterwards, because of the ownership over the staff, has been the pressure of the mantle and whether she was worthy for it.
right.
And always looking up to Starman saying, oh, I'm not good enough for it. And especially when like Pat references all the heroic antics that this JSA did before and how Starman was the leader and everything like that. But I think that scene really did show that Pat was the heart of the show since the beginning.
Yeah.
And Courtney's sort of addressing that, if you want to call it. And I think that's the first time she actually references Pat as her dad in that scene. So I think that's like, it almost does. Like, it's weird that obviously this wasn't intended to be a final season, but it crazily feels like a final season, especially these final couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And obviously, God knows what happens in the finale as well.
Well, and the thing is that conversation that Courtney has with Starman, to me, does feel like that's, I know that they wanted to have more seasons, but it definitely feels like I don't know if they rewrote that scene to work as a character wrap up, but I do feel like that's, to me, what that was a wrap up for a character.
Well, that's the thing I felt about this season in particular. I felt this season was intentionally, like, regardless of whether it got season 4 or not, even, well, I think they would have been planning to get a season 4, but I think this season was built around being a shifting of the guard, or a changing of the guard, and a shifting from whatever the old JSA meant to the new JSA. And I think Sylvester, even though it was Ultra Humanite, was the focal point of that. And like, there's been mentions throughout the season of mantles. Even when we went back to the Helix Institute episode, they're going off to find Wesley Dodds' was it son or nephew or something like that.
Yeah.
So it felt like it was meant to be a changing of the guard. So if we did get a season 4, I think we were going to get like, it's all forward with the new JSA, not much referencing to the past. Like, for example, no old villains of the old JSA. So it would have been a new, maybe younger villain that steps in and becomes an issue. And actually, I won't mention it. So you move on, Eric.
Because it is a season finale. I mean,
well, no, that's the issue with the trailer. So the trailer says season finale. They usually say series, even if it's
CW more so. Yeah, but John Wesley Shipp calling it a season finale. It's both. It's a season and series finale. But yeah, we've already established the CW doesn't give a shit about any of these shows anymore. I mean,
I'm going to assume that they made the trailer a while ago because the show finished a while ago.
And they didn't want to pay to change it.
Well, I think it's more they made it a while ago when it still wasn't cancelled, because it could have been one of those things like a Supergirl, not a Supergirl, like a Batwoman or Legends, where it ends and then like 2 weeks after it wraps up, then they say it's cancelled.
Yeah.
So I think that's what have happened there. But they should have changed it. I mean, it should say it's series finale.
It should. Why it doesn't. Yes. John Wesley Shipp calling it a season finale isn't weird to me though, because I mean that's just it is what it is. But so the big reveals we got this week, let's talk about those. We find out that, and we'll start with the first one, is that Starman is actually Ultra Humanite. Now, I think we name dropped a lot of people he could possibly be. But they did a good job of like making us go, is he? No, maybe he's not. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. And that's what you want from a mystery in a show, is you want to have this like jumping around of like who this character is. I will say though, the one complaint, I guess not really a complaint, but the one nitpick I have is I understood that Ultra Humanite, and let's talk this out here because maybe I could change my mind about this, but Ultra Humanite said that the staff like kept Starman's body alive. Totally makes sense. I'm on board with that. Got it. Okay, so his body physically was just fine. Nothing wrong with it because of all the energy that he had gotten from the staff. But that his brain was no longer there, which means that the body was physically capable of regenerating, but the mind was not. Okay, still totally on board with that. So Ultra Humanite put their brain into Starman's body, which then would allow them to genetically look, sound, be Starman because of this acting thing. Because we had that little thing at the beginning that showed, you know, how Ultra Humanite and Dragon King operated, all that stuff. Totally got that. Still on board with all of this. The one thing that I had an issue with was there were moments in the episode and over the season, I'd have to go back and watch the whole season, where Ultra Humanite seemed to know things about relationships with characters that would not have been privy to him. You know what I mean? Like just some of the interactions with the JSA, some of the stuff that happened with Pat and Sylvester behind the scenes. How did Ultra Humanite know those things? Is there any reason why? Did I misunderstand how this works? Because all the public stuff that happened, and maybe even like things that would have been in the JSA files, I get that he would know that, but there was emotional moments between them that I felt like would have only been achievable if it were actually Sylvester. You know what I mean? Because even in this episode, at the end, Pat's talking to Ultra Humanite, and it feels as if there's a bond between them. Is there something else that I'm missing from that? I mean, does Ultra Humanite have some of the memories of Starman, or is it just, what do you think?
I don't know. I know in the comics he can read minds or some crap like that, but
Okay.
so I don't know if that was something that was just in the back. Maybe that's something that's addressed in the finale. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure in the comics he can read minds, which would obviously help in that scenario.
Right.
Like just referencing something or Pat thinking about a moment, and then like, or even if Pat like thought about it 4 days before or something, and he read it and then just brought it up 4 days later, but that hasn't been addressed. So that would be like a bit of a question mark, like, what's going on there?
And I want to point this out, everybody. It didn't ruin the episode for me. Like again, I gave this episode very high marks. It's just one of those things where I don't know if I don't understand what's happening or if they just didn't address it yet. So it's good to know that everybody's kind of like, let's wait and see what happens with that, because I'm kind of curious. If somebody was like, oh, he gets lost in the role, that doesn't really answer my question. Getting lost in the role is fine, but knowing things about the person's personal life that would not have been public information, that doesn't really answer my question. So we have a super chat here from Crazy Cat Lady, $5 super chat. Guess who's back from Disneyland? Well, I'm glad you're back. Hope you had a great time. Guess who's back? Paige, you think this was fun? Want to know what I got? I'll do a video on it soon. Well, let me know when you do the video. I'll go and check it out. I always love watching videos about people getting fun merch and things like that. But I guess she's referencing a particular song that we're not going to sing.
Well, Eric was going to do a performance of Real Slim Shady, but I think he's going to do it I think he's going to do it on the Twitch channel. I think he's even going to shave his head for it, which is pretty interesting, and bleach it. But
yeah.
Anyway.
So I got a couple more questions that I think we'll have to wait for the finale to see if they answer. Or maybe they won't. Maybe they won't answer it. Is why was the staff the staff is not very smart, apparently. Because obviously there was something going on with Starman throughout the whole season. And then at the end, when Courtney was having that conversation with Ultra Humanite, as I'm just going to call it Starman because it's confusing. When Courtney was having conversation with Starman, he was able to pull the staff to him, and it left Courtney. So I don't think we're ever going to get a real answer on what the staff actually is. Maybe we will in the finale. I don't know, because first I thought it was like a really smart dog. You know what I mean? Like it was not like smart as a person, but smart enough to be aware of stuff. I thought at the very least, because of how it knew who to be with like who to, I guess, follow with the staff because it chose Courtney or whatever, that it would know that Starman wasn't Starman, but maybe it's not as smart as I thought it was. Or is it just a genetic thing? Maybe it knew.
I think it's just more like
Starman.
it is a genetic thing. Like, which I think it looks like Starman. I mean, we all thought it was Starman for freaking 11 and a half episodes. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like muscle memory and everything like that.
Yeah, it was really weird, but I don't know if we're ever going to answer that. I would love to see like a quote unquote origin story for the staff, but I think it's too late for that, right?
Well, didn't Courtney get to use the staff when Eclipso was controlling her last season?
Maybe.
So this is sort of like a similar thing to that. If
Maybe.
did,
I mean, you might be right. I have to go and check and see. Do you think we'll get a explanation of what the staff is in the finale, or because I have a distinct feeling that somehow Courtney's going to level up in the finale, because I think Starman is going to continue to use the staff, and Courtney is going to, something else is going to happen with her. She might get it back at the end, but I think she's going to be able to like channel power or something, because there's no way she's just going to fight hand to hand with Starman. It's just, that's not going to happen. No. Do you think that Courtney will get some sort of like leveling up moment or something like that, or what? What do you think is going to happen?
Maybe the staff realizes that Sylvester isn't Sylvester, so that means Courtney becomes the sole owner of the staff. And because she's already learned early in the season how to properly harness its power and almost like embed her with the cosmic energy, that allows her to be much more powerful with the staff once it cuts Sylvester off as a user, or Ultra Humanite as a user of the staff.
Yeah. So the other reveal we got, another brain swap, was that Ultra Humanite is now Dragon King. So Dragon King's mind is inside of Ultra Humanite. So it's so confusing. So they find that out because Cindy and the boys go to the lair, and we see Dragon King's body laying on a table, and the brain is inside of Ultra Humanite. Now, when did this happen is my question. How long has his body been laying on that table?
Well, a bit, because it's stinky.
Right. So I feel like it must have happened a while ago.
Yeah, and I like the little attention to detail, because on the sheet where the blood was, they had a stain where he got stabbed by Cindy, like around that abdomen area. I like the attention to detail there, but I don't know. I'm assuming that, like, who would have picked him up and taken him there?
Yeah. So my question about that was, how did that happen? And I mentioned that in my video. How did he do that? Like, did Ultra Humanite do it for him? And if so, did they already have Starman's body at that point?
Ooh. I saw someone earlier talking about why they killed the gambler. I wonder if that's why. I wonder if the gambler helped them at the end of season 1 in regards to the Dragon King stuff, and he was going to reveal all or something. That was the fear. Because remember, he was trying to be good.
Right. So are we under the impression that the Ultra Humanite is the one that was killing people in the beginning? Because it all seems like that damage would have been done by a very strong and powerful character, right? So I feel like it had to be Dragon King as Ultra Humanite, right?
Yeah.
So the next question is, what were the TVs about? Who set those up? Were they always there?
Well, I wonder if that was just I don't know, because then it was in Courtney's house. Well, I guess Sylvester would have done it. And they were, well, yeah, because Sylvester did it, and they were away for the summer, so Sylvester was able to just plant cameras.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what your take was on it, because I was trying to figure out who would do it. The most logical choice would have been Sylvester set them up,
because they were away for summer holidays,
right?
And they were away for the summer holidays, so he was able to just go around and do freely whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say that Sylvester's probably the one that, because you got to remember, all of these people were working together. But that brings another question up, right? So why was Starman out by himself pretending to be Starman?
What do you mean, like searching the labs?
So no, Well, yeah, like out looking for people. Like he was out looking for Ultra Humanite and even blew up the barn. But why?
Well, don't they have a literal thing on him?
What do you mean?
Don't they have like tracking comms and stuff like that? He also said he got. Did they say that he got lost in the role?
I mean, they have comms, yeah, but I don't think they could just pinpoint where he is.
I think it was just maybe to play into to play into it, to not just see like.
I don't know.
Oh no, I know.
It felt very real when he was getting upset. Like it felt
Well,
very
yeah,
real. Like,
well, maybe that was a tad of like playing into the audience as well. So it's just like, oh, where's Sylvester? Is he out doing stuff? No, he's on the couch eating chips. Like,
yeah.
So it's like nothing. He doesn't want to be suspect. He wants to play into it to allow the role to play
that.
out.
I get him like being away and doing stuff, and there were scenes that we were watching him as the point of view character, and he was still playing the role even when nobody else was around. Yeah. And I know that's to like keep us from figuring out who he was, but at the same time, it felt like some of those were like, why?
Yeah, so I get what you mean.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, this is not me saying that I didn't like it. I'm just trying to it's a mystery. So I'm trying to put together all the pieces of the puzzle. So Levi, this is a good question. So if Ultra Humanite is the one that killed the gambler, why did he attack Sylvester at the beginning of the season? Now I have a theory on this. Sylvester survived, right? Yeah. I think that was a setup, and I know they haven't said this, and I'm not making excuses for the writers. This is called implied. I think the implication there was that was a setup so that he would be taken. Like he didn't want the family to start to doubt that he was Starman, and they needed something big for that. I think that's what this was, right? Am I reading that correctly?
That's what it felt like. It felt like that he was so driven and that he'd go out and I think it was also maybe even like a what do you want to call it? Like an ownership sort of thing as well, which sort of leads into like why he was that sort of led into him leaving, like going out on his own in future episodes as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something that they, again, back when it happened, looking back at it now and hearing what they said. Yeah. So in the episode, he did give in his monologue, he didn't say word for word, I did exactly this thing. He's very much like giving an overview of everything that happened. And so, yes, all of those things, everything that he did, the attack on him, that was implied to be him doing that because he didn't want to be a suspect. All of those things are sort of answered in his monologue, but I think there's specifics of it that people are asking for that I don't think they're going to give us because it's implied. And I think some of the little details were implied there. But getting back to the whole Dragon King and Ultra Humanite storyline, that's very interesting. Again, I question sort of how that happened, but so at the end of the episode, the big, I guess, moment that we lead into is that Pat is getting buried alive by Sylvester. And by the end of the episode, it looks as if he's completely buried. Do you think, because I've watched the preview and I don't think we see Pat in the preview, do you think they would actually kill Pat off before the finale?
No, I don't think they would.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean they won't.
Yeah. But that's what I'm asking. Do you think? I mean, in the cards. I feel like so in my fanfic, like in my world of what should happen here, I would love if this is how they brought the Shade back in with the two kids, is that the Shade teleports in to the dirt and saves him and takes him, brings him out or whatever. Because right now the team has no idea where Pat is. None of them know. But I feel like the Shade and his powers, he would be able to find Pat. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to see him come back that way. That's fanfic. There's no leading towards that. That's just in my mind. I'm like, who's the one person that could probably save him from that? And it would be, it could be the Shade. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I hope we see them again before the end of the season, but there's no promise of that. Yeah. And so we're leading up to this magical, fantastic finale for the season. Do you feel like we're going to get a satisfying wrap up to all of this? I feel like we are. I feel like we're heading in that direction.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's still going to be some unanswered stuff. I don't think what's happening with Rick's going to be dealt with, because I think that was a potential season 4. Like
Yeah.
he's still dealing with the repercussions of that. But I think like most of the stuff we've been dealing with for this season is going to be dealt with,
Right.
wrapped up for the most part. Like there might be like a lingering thread there, but it's like 90% complete.
I have a feeling season 4 would have focused heavily on Our Man because his story is the one that feels like it's going to have the most left over at the end of the season. Yeah. So I'm super excited. In my review, because I did a review for Stargirl this week, surprise, surprise. I gave it a 9.5. I still stand by that. I feel like it's almost perfect. I think the finale might actually be a 10 out of 10. We'll have to see when we get there. In the chat, let us know your score of the episode out of 10. What would you rank it? Would you less satisfied with it? Were you more satisfied with it? I thought it was really, really a good episode. Probably one of the best episodes of the series. So yeah, everybody look 9 point to 9.5, 9.5, 10. I wouldn't argue with the 10. 8. All right. An 8. Wow. Okay. Curious to what it was that brought it down to an 8. Just wondering. I'm not saying your score is wrong. So here we go. We got some scores here. Hey, Amethyst, how are you doing? Some people are going over 12 out of 10. There we go. All right, so that's it. If you guys have any questions about Stargirl moving forward, you can super chat them because we're going to be moving on. All right, so next up, we are going to talk about the mid-season or winter finale for Titans season 4. I got confused earlier. So it's Titans season 4, episode 6, which is Brother Blood, which oddly enough, we've already seen promos for his suit and stuff that's been out for months, and they still refuse to show us in the episode.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we waiting so long for that? So weird. So in this episode, we got some really interesting changes to characters. We got some pretty big surprises. Connor is now Connor Luther, I guess you could call him. Lex
the
Kent.
lead character in the reboot of American History X.
There we go.
Or Kanye's mate.
Maybe. He shaves his head and he starts acting like Lex. But not only does he start acting like Lex, first of all, I love this direction for the character. I think it's a really cool direction to take him in. But I'm like, what happened? Like, it was a quick, like, I get that he's like, okay, I want to find a solution to this problem using intelligence instead of strength. Got it. Makes sense. Shaving my head, want to be more like Lex. Okay, still on board with that. But then he started like insulting the team members. And I was like, what? It was really weird because keep in mind that Connor obviously is not like a normal human. You know, he's a clone of two different people. One of them being a Kryptonian, the other being, you know, one of the smartest people and richest people in the world. I don't know. I think he did a great job in this moment, but I question how we got there so quickly. If that makes any sense.
In the opening scene, he's like sort of like shaking it, like, oh shit. That's like how he's like shaking. So I was assuming that he was scared, and I think he tapped into his Lex side because Lex didn't really like, especially the Lex that we saw didn't really seem to get scared too much.
Right.
And so I think he was maybe like tapping into that, I don't know, like scared side or he's tapping into that more confident Lex side who is no nonsense, who obviously is incredibly smart and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a word, a trigger. It was almost like triggered him over to the Lex side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know why that means I have to shave my head. I don't know.
Well, yeah. That he shaved his head, and then also when he, like Lance says, he roasted the entire team. I understand the whole Lex thing, but he was not only Lex, he was like rude. And the Lex that we knew from the show, the little bit of time that we got to see him, didn't come across as rude that way. You know, so like this weird, like he's doing the Lex that we all kind of like.
Maybe he's playing like what a younger version of that Lex would have been.
I don't know.
which maybe was rude, and maybe that's I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I still really liked it. And I'm very curious to what direction it's going to go, because he did manage to find a way to stop the blood moon by, moving satellites around to take that off of the moon. I don't know how that stopped the magical part of it, right? Because all he did was change the way it looks. So I was like, how is it reflecting light on the moon change the actual magic that the blood moon has? How does
I don't
that?
know, was it more of like a follower thing?
I don't know. They
Because
made
the
it very
followers
clear,
could have
because they
seen the
said
blood moon.
they'll only have 5 minutes of the blood moon left at the end of it. But I'm like, he's not magically taking power away from the blood moon. He's just making it look white.
I don't know.
So I'm not really sure how that anyway, that was the solution to the problem, at least to give him that 5-minute window at the end. So see, this is the part I have with this. Why does it have to appear as a blood moon? If that's the case, couldn't they just put red light on the moon? It's a magical thing, right? So is it aesthetic or is it magic?
Yeah, I think Defunct said it's just like some comic book logic. I think it's just one of those things like I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
can
was
question
like,
it, but at the same time it's worth questioning.
I was like, fair enough if they didn't realize it. Like, if they didn't know that he was pulling that off, that would make sense.
Maddie does say it as well.
The fact is,
It
though,
is
that
Titan.
they did figure it out. Like, they did know.
Questioning Titans only leads to more pain, Eric.
I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. Maybe. So anyway, he also finds a way to, use trajectory to figure out where they are, which is fine. I'm okay with this. I'm on board with that logic. And then he decides to go to face off against them himself, which is the dumbest thing he could do, which made no sense considering he was Lex at this
He
moment.
was smart. He should have been using his bold brain.
Right. So you're super smart enough to figure all of this out and roast your team, but you're dumb enough to go face off against Magic, knowing at this point, knowing even more so than you did before, that you're weaker against them. I'm not again on board with the Lex thing. I get it, but you can't say that he's a super smart Lex character, but then makes the dumbest decision he could possibly make. Because Lex wouldn't have done that. Lex wouldn't have rushed off head front into battle. That's not what Lex does. It's actually the complete opposite of that. Anyway, he goes there and guess what? He gets his ass kicked. Surprise, surprise. We kind of
via magic. Magic.
But while this is all going on, the Titans are trying to figure out a plan to rescue Sebastian, because they still don't know that he's being slowly brainwashed by the cult. And so they're like, we need to rescue him. So let's teleport. Like, they finally get to the point where we'll do a teleporting thing. Now, this is another thing where I had an issue with some of the inconsistency in the way things work on the show. So why is it that teleporting requires some sort of scientific breakdown, but all other magic does not? And in all of the rest of the DC multiverse, teleporting is just teleporting.
Do you think it's just so there's a reason for them to utilize Star Labs? Just like, we're in Star Labs, so let's make it about science.
I don't know. It just felt weird to me how Jinx, who is a magic character, is scientifically breaking down teleporting.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. Is it science or is it magic? Which one is it? This is the problem I have when it comes to magic. If you're going to be magic all the time.
Well, isn't the saying like, is it magic is science you can't see, or the other way around?
Which is typically how it's handled, except sometimes on shows like this, it works that way and sometimes it doesn't. And I think in Titans, magic has been inconsistent. because like when Coriander was turned into stone, that wasn't explained with science. It was not science at all, actually. But teleporting now requires science. It's just teleporting. And now they can't teleport more than one character, but Gar can transform into a virus?
Eric, do you think the perfect cocktail to give you I'd like to say like coma-inducing migraine would be an Eric Wallace written episode of Titans?
I mean, maybe. This episode for me was the one episode where I started to question like how this is all playing out. Because look, I'm good. Like if it's based on science, I am all in. Like, take me down that path. If it's based on magic and we're supposed to just believe that things can happen, I'm all in. Take me down that path. I really hate when they nitpick, or cherry pick is a better word. Cherry pick what they're going to break down as scientific and what they're just going to let slide.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought the teleporting thing was specifically made complicated because of the circumstances. And you're right. It might have had something to do with Star Labs. I was like, teleporting should just be teleporting. Haven't they teleported on the show before? Am I forgetting this? I feel like there's been a teleportation thing on Titans over the last 3 seasons. I'm going to have to go back and look. But I feel like, yeah, again, yeah, so this is another thing. I wasn't even going to point this out because I thought it was like, it's really stupid, but it did annoy me when I was watching it. I was like, wait a minute, it's a little bit to the left. Oh, wait, no, it's in the it's up high. No, it's off to the side. Like, it just kept changing places. I did see that. That was funny. I guess the other issue with it was that it was Jinx explaining it. Like, why is she explaining science behind this? That doesn't. Okay, we're spending too much time on this. So, but before they can teleport and rescue anybody, they have to figure out where they are. Now, they don't know that Connor already figured out where they were. So they have to come up with a way to do that. So they're like, oh, if we use Coriander's power to supercharge you because your magic is still there, with Jinx's help, Raven, you can triangulate where they are. Okay. I'm good with this. But then Coriander is like going to get tested, I guess, to find out about her power levels. And, you know, the scientist, do we ever find a name of that scientist who she was speaking to? I don't think we ever found her name. The lady that she was talking to.
What, in the diner?
No. The scientist that was talking to Coriander. In
this
episode.
And then Dick talks to her as well.
Yeah, I think she was just scientist number 3 or something. I don't know.
I think they said her name in the previous episode. I think they mentioned in this one.
Yeah. So yes, Ragu, I would have preferred for somebody at Star Labs to maybe explain that because that would have made more sense. But anyway, so she's like, "Oh, I'm reading your power output, and it's like 75% more than what it was. It was like it went from like 8 to 80 or something." And then she randomly goes, "It's gonna destroy you," and I'm like, how do you know that? How would she know that? They don't even understand what this power is. Fair enough if they can read how much output she has, which I still kind of question how they do that. But the fact that she knew it was going to destroy her, how? Where did that information come from? Okay. So anyway, we use that to like supercharge Raven, which I was hoping we were going to get a White Raven moment, like a really cool like transformation, but that didn't really happen. It was more or less just we found out where they are, but now Connor's there, so we can't teleport. Surprise, surprise. So now we have to go there, which they get there very quickly, by the way.
Yeah,
they get there. It's like that. They just show up. But at this point, Sebastian has decided to accept his fate, but they don't know that yet, so they're still trying to save them. And we get like this battle that seems like the Titans are actually winning over. You know, they're overtaking Mother Mayhem. Which, by the way, yeah, Gar transformed into a gorilla, and he was not wearing the suit. So there we go. He was just a gorilla. So no.
So
Remember how you said you would like?
your
What?
your little toe fetish.
I
isn't
wanted to
gonna
see
happen.
that though. I wanted to see it. They didn't do it.
No
but I
toe
wanted-
fetish
I
for
wanted to see
Eric.
it.
R.I.P. the toe fetish.
I know it was all gone. So anyway, they get there, they're fighting, and Jinx takes off the robe. She has the suit on, which is fine. We'd already seen it in the promo picture, so I was like, okay, she's got her suit. Fair enough.
She goes.
She gets killed immediately.
Imagine if she's dead, the suit designer must be sitting there going, "Wait, what?"
Immediately. It's like stab. Oh, she's gone.
The accelerated man was on screen longer than Jinx in the suit. If she's dead, that's hilarious.
Is she? Do you think she's really gone? Do you think that's it for her?
I don't. Because the suit's there, I want to say no because that just doesn't make sense. Why would you give her the suit just to kill her off literally like 15 seconds later? I'm assuming she's alive. Probably some. I guess she didn't get her head chopped off. I always said if someone's head isn't chopped off, then they could still be alive. I mean,
Right.
we saw Felicity survive like a literal magazine load of bullets and survive.
Yeah.
So then again, Laura got stabbed once with little blade and died. So who knows what with the logic of this stuff, Eric? So
Yeah.
I'm going to say she's alive because of the suit. However, I don't think she's a character that's going to work. I don't know. I feel like she's played her role.
So this is
That's
just,
the issue with the character because this is the first time she actually sort of played a decent role in the episode.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, it probably didn't make too much sense.
All right.
Um,
I have two things about this. Okay, so number one is that I think magic users, just like speedsters, are a bit too powerful for shows.
yeah.
So the whole teleporting thing and what they're capable of doing, you have to put a limit on it because otherwise it becomes like it's just they can do anything they want. So there's always these arbitrary rules. I get it. I understand it. I that's a thing, right? Secondly is yes, people are pointing out she did say that this isn't the first time. So chances are she will come back. It was just really funny, right? It was funny that the big suit reveal and then she's dead.
Yeah.
Two things there that I think about all the time: speedsters and magic users. Yeah. And Amethyst had a Team Eric member chat. Magic is science, is all energy, but comics. Yeah, magic is weird. It's a weird one. But then Sebastian finally accepts all that power, and he Thanos snaps everybody. Well, all of the Titans.
Scream. Thanos screams.
Yeah.
By the way, because I know in the comics, it's that like I don't know if it's if he kills someone or just drinks their blood, he gets their power. So does that can he just do that in the comics by the blood? Just scream?
Let me see.
Or is that like a magic thing? Because I was a bit confused
I
when it
wanna see-
happened. Because I'm
Alright,
I'm
I'll-
pretty sure in the comics that because I think it was in the movie, the animated movie, that if you drink the blood of someone, you get their powers. Or he
Alright.
does, or
Let's
something like that.
see. Powers. Where is it at? Powers and abilities. He's an expert manipulator. He's always slower rate than humans. But is immune to Raven's soul self due to his powers. He's also invulnerable to superhuman or supernatural physical strength. So yes, his powers work similar to that of a vampire. He gains the powers of people from blood and can take
So
the ability
Jeb-
to people whose blood he sampled. So yes, it says specifically blood because I mean brother blood makes sense.
But he drank Mother Mayhem's blood, but I don't think Mother Mayhem can do that. So I don't know if that's just a power they gave him, like a
Yeah.
magical power they can scream and I guess send them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Unless
But-
he secretly drank someone's
But you
blood.
can't
do
teleport
that.
multiple people at the same time. It doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I don't know where they went. They've gone to Timbuktu or something like that. I don't know where they've gone, but
If if we come back and they've been teleported somewhere, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed off. I'm gonna be so mad.
what if they get
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be really mad if that happens.
just? Wait, we spent 10 minutes of that episode with that clear whiteboard doing.
Yeah. I don't.
We're gonna get a ranted review if that happens.
I mean, maybe. I can't wait. Next week, you guys, I'm doing a first half season overview of Titans because I feel like up until this episode, yeah. So Lloyd says they teleported to Stargirl's Earth. If more than one person teleports, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna go off. Just know if they end up just teleporting somewhere, I'm going to be really, really fucking mad.
Wait, so is next episode the Beast Boy episode 7? Because I wasn't too sure it was episode 7 or episode 10
I don't
that
know.
they were doing that. So it must be episode 7 because Lloyd says next ep is the Gar ep, where Stargirl, well, the Gar ep is the one with Stargirl and Doom Patrol people show up as well. Okay, well, that's a good episode to come back to.
Everybody's like, they want to see me go off.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe Gar is lost. They all get separated and Gar has to find them going through the multiverse.
So what if they're all lost on different Earths? So like Gar is on Stargirl's Earth.
This reminds me of maybe instead of different Earths, it's them in different time periods. What does it remind you of, Eric? Coming back from a cliffhanger. Your favorite show?
No, don't say it.
Will there be a dinosaur chasing one of them?
No. We don't need any of that. We don't need the
Well,
Wave Rider or anything like that. So what if like Raven ends up on the Flash? What if Grant Gustin is there? And...
What if Dick ends up in the Arrowverse after the actor said he was too good to appear in Crisis as a cameo?
What if,
despite the fact that Crisis happened just after the worst season of DC television came out, which was Titan season 2? So hilarious.
What if Nightwing ends up in Star City and Stephen Amell's there and they team up together to fight crime for an episode? What if that happens? Yeah, what if Cecile rescues them all? What if that works? I don't know.
What if Superboy ends up on Legends and gets his nipple ripped off? then you have another interesting scenario, don't you?
I don't know. I feel like they are going to get teleported somewhere, and I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, if the Gar rep is the next step, then it must be him finding them, or maybe he's lost specifically, and it might have something to do with his connection to the Red, that he gets lost elsewhere.
So in the comics, the staff can travel the multiverse. That's one of the powers it has pre-Crisis. So it's quite possible that that might be the key to Gar, like, getting back. And what a great episode to come back to, considering that Stargirl's finale is next week, which means when we come back with Titans, it'll be Stargirl on Titans.
Well, when does Titans come back? Does it have a date?
I don't know.
Does anyone know? If anyone knows, let put it in the chat.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
I don't think it's gone for too long. I think it's sometime in January. I'm very concerned that Miata season 2.
Ragu, do you know? Ragu,
does anyone know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
is there anyone out there?
Does anyone care? Oh, he says they don't have a release date yet. Oh, that is scary. That is scary that we don't know when they're coming back.
Getting canceled mid-season. We're not airing the rest of the episodes.
I don't know. But we are getting Doom Patrol, so there's that. That starts up, I believe. Are you going to watch that week to week or no?
I haven't watched Doom Patrol since like halfway through. Oh no, I watched the end of season 2. All right, but I didn't see season 3.
Yeah. I don't know. We might not cover that over here because I don't know if I'm going to watch that week to week either, but we'll see. So anyway, yeah, let me give a positive here. I think the VFX were really good this week. I thought they were pretty good considering we're out of the Trigon era. Especially the scene with Connor fighting Mother Mayhem. I thought that was really good.
Well, they must be saving so much money by just staying in Star Labs the entire episode. I feel like I'm watching a bottle episode of The Flash every single week.
Yeah, always the Star Labs. So I thought that was good. But for me, I think this episode, minus the shocking end of the episode, was one of the weaker ones of the season. I think the first 3 to 4 episodes were really good, and the last couple episodes have kind of fallen off for me.
I feel really out of touch though, and you would be as well because we're in the same thinking with this. But I'm seeing Titans stands accounts. I know if your Titans stand account, it probably reduces credibility a bit because the show has been pretty shit
Yeah.
for most of the time. But I've seen the past 2 episodes be put in most people's top 2. They either have this episode is number 1 or this episode is number 2, and then last week's episode
Really?
is the other top 2 spot. And I'm there sitting like, am I wrong? Or
I don't.
are they just? And then I'm thinking, well, it's Titans stand account, so they must be wrong. If that
So
makes, because I feel like I'm out of touch with it, because I think we both agree the past 2 weeks have been maybe not the worst 2, but definitely the bottom 3.
okay,
of
so
of the
here's
episodes that have come out.
of this season, but I still think this season is
Yeah.
far better than previous seasons.
Oh yeah, much better, much better. And it feels more stable as well.
Look, Dino, I don't want to say this is like a recap of like the last couple seasons of Titans where they start off strong and they start to get worse. We're at the mid-season, so I'm gonna wait because I think the Beast Boy episode has the potential to be something really, really, really good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The good thing with this season so far is that it hasn't gone too extreme at the beginning, because that's been the issue with the previous seasons, is that they do so much in the opening. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say 4 episodes, 5 episodes. Probably last season's a good indicator, and then it drops off like as if it's like a car going off a cliff.
So Andy, I agree. Season 4 is I think it's the strongest season of Titans ever. I think it literally is the best season that Titans ever had. I don't think watching the last two episodes back to back changes their quality for me, because my issues with this episode were very specific to the writing in the episode. Like the science and magic stuff, no amount of watching them back to back will ever change that for me. So, hey Anthony, how are you doing? It's inconsistencies like that I can't forgive. Like there's certain things that I can overlook, like a character making a stupid line or one scene being weird. This week, there was a series of events that just kind of screwed the episode up for me personally. We'll see. I have high hopes for when it comes back though. So I would probably give this episode, if I were giving it a numeric score, like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. It was better than average, but not unwatchable. You know what I mean? Like it's not one of those episodes like with Legends where I'd be like, I'm never ever watching this again. Like if I go back and binge the season, I will watch the episode. It'll be fine. But there was a lot of questions about the narrative of the series. That's for me personally. So there we go. Wow, -10. Yikes. We got a 9 out of 10 from Robert. Jenna gives it a 6.5. What?
Maybe that might have been a season 2 review. I don't know. He might not be talking about this
Maybe.
one.
Lloyd says 8 out of 10. Lobo says 6.66. All right, so there we go.
Is that because of the satanic trigon?
I mean, maybe. And that's it for our Titans review. So if you guys want to ask any more questions about Titans, feel free to do so. We are going to be wrapping up here in a few. I got a couple random topics here that I want to talk about. And there's some people that are probably going to have their feelings hurt in the chat with this one. But I want to talk about this trend with the AI art and what it actually is. And so many people haven't dug into like what it's actually doing. And it reminds me a lot of like what was like 2 years ago when everybody was doing like that paint me pictures or whatever, where it would like turn you into like a watercolor painting or something like that. So Lensa, which is the app that most people are using, is owned by Prisma, which is a Russian company owned by like one millionaire guy in Russia. And like the agreement that you make gives them all your information. Like if you read the agreement, they're allowed to use all the art you submit. You don't own any of those. They own all of that art, and they own all of your information. And I'm not talking about just having access to it. In the TOS, it actually says they can sell your information. I just can't believe people are downloading it and using it and paying for it. That's the other thing. They're paying for it.
Yeah, this is the AI art that Ben did.
Oh, okay.
It looks pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with his hair though, but pretty accurate.
Pagey, some people are paying like the $30 amount for like 100 pictures or something.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
I will say this. I know a lot of people are laughing about it, but whatever money you're spending on it is going towards that Russian company. And they have access to your likeness, which is making deep faking way easier. So do it if you want. I'm not going to participate in it. I just can't. I looked into it. I knew it was too good to be true. Nobody's going to be doing AI art for free. Just, yeah, go for it. Have fun. Have fun when your email starts to get spammed and people start calling your phone 24 hours a day. That's all I'm saying. Amethyst. Hive. Okay, so I like Hive. Hive is a new social media app. It's only on phones right now. It's not even on the web or whatever. Hive is like a combination of Twitter and Instagram, but I know this is probably not going to be popular. Again, me with a hot take. What is a hot take for me? I don't know anymore. Unless Twitter dies, like, and I don't mean dies as in like people leave Twitter. I mean, like the whole app ceases to function. No one will beat Twitter. They've been saying Facebook is dying for years, and guess what? Still there. Hive is a better moral business model than Twitter is, but right now they are severely understaffed. I think it's like 3 people working on Hive. It's really slow, and it's still in beta for Android phones, which means only Apple products are getting the full version. I love Hive. I want it to succeed. I do. But it needs a lot of... Twitter is a large company. So we'll see. I'm on Hive. I like it. There's a lot of bugs. I couldn't upload pictures. It was very laggy for me. We'll see what happens with it. Did you open a Hive account, Pagey?
I opened one just to claim my name.
Yeah.
It's really annoying though. I think one of the people that owns it is called Pagey. Because the guy that had the name Pagey from like 2020. I'm like, God, how did you know about this?
Apparently, people can have multiple, like there could be multiple people with the same name on there.
Well, I tried it. It didn't work. So I had to go with my Twitter.
Well, they might have changed it. I think in the beginning you could like everybody could have the same name.
But
I
didn't even
like if your name was John Jones, you could just be at John Jones. Like everybody was the same. It didn't make you put like a number or something behind your name.
Well, Martian Manhunter would actually that might be a good cover, man. If multiple people have that name, so it might be sweet. But I set it up and then just went. No, I didn't do anything with it. I just claimed it, and then I tried to use it, and it was buggy, and I just went, okay, well, I'm off then. But I wanted apples, and it was slow on the Apple,
right?
I say an Apple,
and that is actually the proper version. The one on Android is still beta. So
yeah, I mean, my honest thought is that I don't think anything's going to happen. I think Twitter's still going to be the supreme thing, and literally everyone's still going to use Twitter. But Hive is like, I guess if something happens, it's like, but it's almost like having a fallout shelter in case a nuclear bomb drops.
Well, yeah, and I think so. There's a big difference in like, YouTube and like Twitch because they both exist. They both have their own like, people cross use both platforms. There's nothing really like Twitter. Twitter's kind of its own thing. We talked about this. There's not a lot of micro blogging, one news feed type sites. It's kind of the only one like that. So now we're seeing other ones pop up. So we'll see what happens in the long run. We'll see where that goes. I do want to point out, I'm going to share this now in case you guys don't know. Speaking of Twitch, nice little segue there. So I'm going to be doing streams over at Twitch now. They're not going to affect any content over here. Over here at YouTube, everything will still be the way it is. It's not taking away content. It's not doing anything to that. It's literally just adding content. The reason why I'm doing this is YouTube is very strict on the topics that we can talk about. It's also very strict on copyright, stuff like that. So if you head over to twitch.tv/Eric's Reloaded, it's going to be linked. It's what's on my account here. If you go back to the main page, it's up in the corner, but it'll also be in the info box as well on my link tree. If you head over there and you follow me on twitch.tv. We do a lot of fun stuff over there. I've already got 252 followers. Thank you guys so much for being supportive. You can head over there now, and if you want to watch recent broadcasts, you can become a subscriber. And if you have a Twitch or an Amazon Prime account, you can become a subscriber for absolutely nothing and watch previous broadcasts. And it also will give you access to a bunch of other things over there. And the subscription over there, if you have Amazon, doesn't cost you anything to do that. So head over to twitch.tv. And I'm trying to follow a bunch of people back. I've got a few people I've followed that don't really go live, but I'm trying to spread the love over on Twitch. So we'll see what happens. The Big L will be the main show over there, and I'm using my OBS Streamlabs. I keep calling it StreamYard. OBS Streamlabs to do that, and there we go. So yeah, I don't know if this is an option for you, but if you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Unless you're using it for somebody else, which I totally understand. But I will be breaking up the streams and uploading them. Matter of fact, one of those is up on my channel from yesterday. A lot of people didn't see it yet. Myself and Andy talk about some of the fake news. I hate to use that term. The fake news that's coming out about the Flash release dates. It went up yesterday. If you want to head over to the channel and watch it now, you can. It's up and available. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of fun. All right. Here we go, Pagey. You are sharing something. Let's see what this is.
Update. So luckily on like the PDF thing, you can it has like a cross-out feature, which worked out well. Didn't have to do much, just have to highlight stuff. But we can look. There's only 14 teams left out of the 36 that started. So we have Willish World is still alive because Argentina won this morning. Simulation 7 with Brazil. Willish World again with Croatia.
Wow.
Hero's Journey with England. Miata Dam with France. Dark Bat Productions with Japan. Lara E with Korea. Jasmine with Morocco. Ben, the DC TV show with Netherlands. Poland with Amethyst. Ben 10 Big with Portugal. Somehow I'm still fucking in this thing with Senegal. I have no idea how. I'm still in this. If Senegal wins the World Cup, I should have put $10 on them because I'm paying $81 to win. But anyway, Senegal's still here. Serbia with Keita. Darth. No, I've been reading them wrong. No, I've been reading them right. Okay, for some reason, Darth Zin was crossed out. I must accidentally highlight. So Darth Zin has Spain. Jasmine has Switzerland. And that's it. So if you've been crossed out, you can see here, like RIP Martin with the United States. RIP Martin again with Belgium.
Wow.
So Martin RIP. I don't know if there's another surprise. Who was the other surprise team? Germany. Michael Wong. Germany got kicked out in the group stages. So RIP the dream.
Yeah, Darth Zin, you're still in, I believe. So
yeah, Darth Zin's still in with Spain.
Okay.
And
All
Jasmine's got, I think, one team or two teams? No, two teams, Morocco and Switzerland.
There we go. All right.
So you're also in contention for the $25 Amazon gift voucher supplied by DJ Eric's reloaded.com.au.
.com.net
// Chalk King.
Okay, so somebody asked, I believe it was Thomas, asked about uploading to YouTube. Okay, so here's the problem. The entire reason that I'm doing Twitch is because if I play something over there, like a trailer reaction or something with music in it, even if I upload them to YouTube unlisted, I will still get copyright strikes on it. Because YouTube scans private videos. So I can't even put them up unlisted. So that's why it's over on Twitch. And I hate to do that, but here's the reality. There's been times over here at YouTube where I've been banned from live streaming and I couldn't do the after party. And as much as I hate to do it, if I were banned over here or restricted over here for like a week or something, and it was supposed to be when the after party happens, and I can't do it over here, at least I could go and do it on Twitch because
wait, what?
I have access.
Why would you get banned from doing? Why would you get banned from doing streams, Eric? That's never happened in the past.
We know why. Some stuff has been said. Anyway, But yeah, so Twitch is just another outlet for me to put out content. Plus, I could talk about drama over there and not get in trouble for the most part. Whereas over here on YouTube, they don't like that kind of stuff. So yeah, so over there I reacted to some movie trailers with no problem. Guess what, Pagey? No problem. My stream didn't get stopped. They didn't hit me for any kind of copyright strikes. Absolutely nothing. But if I would have done that over here, they would have shut the stream down.
Well, are you going to tease your little special stream you're going to do sometime this week? That would have definitely got copyright struck on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't know which one.
The little dance party. One thing you're telling me before, or is that still in the works and a secret?
Dance party. Oh, the DJ thing. Yeah. So over at Twitch, a lot of people have been asking me about like my music and everything. I will be doing like probably a couple times a month actual like DJing. So you'll see that.
You know the scene from Venom 2 with all the glow sticks? That's going to be Eric.
Will that be?
Except there won't be a plot hole where loud noises should kill him.
Yeah.
But
so Crazy Cat Lady says, you haven't read my super chat yet. I went to California Adventure as well. I'm looking back at my super chats and I only had a couple today, and yours, the one about guess who's back from Disneyland, we read it and talked about it. That's the one you're talking about.
There are sometimes glitches where they don't go through. I've had that happen before.
Okay, well, I'm looking at my screen and we've only had 4, and one of yours was the one about Disneyland. So if you super chatted something else that didn't come through, I don't have it on my side. So it hasn't been sent to my account. Sorry about that.
Hashtag YouTube.
Yeah. Thomas here with a £2 super chat. 10 out of 10 for Transformers CGI. That's a troll because I looked at that CGI and I'm like, there's no way this is finished. Did you see the trailer for Transformers?
I don't think I watched the entire trailer, but I saw snippets like with the Optimus Gorilla and something else.
It's a little special.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the trailer are that I'm going to go see it. I like the Transformers and I like the idea of the Beast Wars, Rise of the Beast storyline. I just think the VFX look a little unfinished for a movie at that level, but I'm pretty sure they're still working on it. So
I have to agree with Dino Dragon.
What is that? Can we get a gritty? No.
Can we get a gritty during the DJing session?
Well, yeah, when I'm standing up DJing, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do it now.
If there's one incentive to join the DJing streams, it's that Eric is standing up. So there's like almost like a free will for either a chock, a twerk, a gritty, a milli rock, dabbing, splits. Can you do the splits?
I don't think you'd be able to see it if I did the splits. I don't have a cameraman, so
it could end up in a strained groin.
I mean, it could be. But yeah, I've already ordered all the stuff. I've got things coming through. I'm getting ready to pull everything out of this side of the room. I've got a TV and stuff over here. You can't really see it. My PlayStation and my television over here. We're gonna move all that out and set up the DJ thing in here. So yeah. Well, my neighbors aren't that close to me, Thomas. So
as if they wouldn't appreciate it. Late night DJing.
Well, the reality is before YouTube became super strict, I used to live stream DJing at the club. But now as soon as a song comes on, it's like you get shut down.
Are you able to do like live, like on the spin, so sort of like mixing? So if someone goes, okay, call me maybe, and then someone goes like Teenage Dirtbag. Are you able to?
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a live mix. Yeah. I will be live mixing.
Oh, get your playlist ready, everyone. Get your suggestions.
Super chat some remixes, like you could super chat me and request a song.
Return of the Mac mixed with Thong Song, the ultimate Eric meme compilation. That would be. Imagine that one.
I mean, maybe
that would need all of the dance moves in there if Eric put that on.
Yeah.
Hot in Here mixed with. Ooh, what's another? Oh, Love is a Battlefield.
Oh, we can do it. We
Get
can make
them
it
ready. Get studying, people.
We can make it happen. So anyway, yeah. So that'll be something coming up. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do it. But the thing is that like one thing that people didn't know about me was up until about 2019, actually 2018, I was traveling everywhere. I DJ'd Mexico, I DJ'd in Canada, in Vancouver before I knew Canada Graphs. I've DJ'd
I was gonna say that might have been a good thing, but anyway.
maybe possibly. I've DJ'd all over the country basically, and I've opened for a lot of really famous DJs. So I've done a lot of stuff, but I stopped doing it because the traveling was getting to be a lot, and I just was very stressed out. And then COVID happened, so pretty much my entire like DJing outside of the state just vanished. So what I want to do now is I want to DJ again on live stream, which is how I got so many international bookings, was from playing on stream. Matter of fact, most of my high profile bookings came from people hearing me play on live stream. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of my friends DJ on Twitch, and they've suggested that if I want to DJ again, that's the place to do it. But you can't save the streams. Like, once I'm done with them, I have to delete them because they have music in them, and they won't. You can get trouble for that. So what will probably happen is I will record the streams audio and upload that to like Mixcloud or SoundCloud so people can download it there, or maybe I'll upload it to like Dropbox and put a link out or whatever. But the actual live streams of me on stream, I can't save those because they will get me in trouble. So
I feel like this is going to be hilarious.
I mean, it might be. It might be. So we'll see.
Oh god, I can see these are the streams where people are going to clip them 100% to get gifts and stuff like that.
Probably. And I'll wear some fun stuff. I've got a lot of costumes, so expect like cosplay and stuff like that.
The mesh nipple shirt, is that going to be pulled out of the
No.
Not okay.
Not that
RIP
one.
the dream.
That's for OnlyFans. So
Okay, sorry. I got the streams mixed up. Sorry, my bad.
Anyway, all right, we're going to get out of here. It wasn't a very big week, but if you would like to check out content this week on my channel, I have a few things. I did a video on the DC universes merging together, possibly, maybe, with animation, video games, and such. Pagey's on that video with me, and that one is from this past week. Also reviewed Stargirl in depth, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, you can check that video out. And I did a video with Andy, which was from a Twitch stream, as well as the one I did with Pagey, which is about all the fake dates and things coming out with a really bad thumbnail that I need to update. So expect that to happen, because Pagey said he had a seizure when he looked at that thumbnail. So I need to fix that.
An aneurysm.
An aneurysm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're out of here. Make sure you go check out twitch.tv/Eric's Reloaded. And everybody have a very good night. And I will talk to you later.
Oh.